I blacked out for about, I want to say 10, 15 minutes almost. So much happened when I fell on that floor. How hard it was to actually win those, because there was some real dark times, real dark days.
Ronnie Coleman was like the ultimate bodybuilder. When he hit the stage, he was a total beast, just owning it. And backstage, when he drops his clothes, everyone's jaws hit the floor. The guy was massive and ripped to shreds.
God put us all here for a purpose. And my purpose is to be Mr. Olympia. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to be the best Mr. Olympia ever. Or the best Mr. Olympia I possibly can be. God gave me the gift that he didn't give nobody else on this earth. Everybody wants to win, everybody wants to be the best. There can always only be one. Mr. Olympia always wins Mr. Olympia because he's the best. Like the sport you compete in, you got a problem with it, don't compete. I just kept doing what I kept doing, and I got better at what I kept doing, and I beat y'all.
Hands down, he is by far the most dominant bodybuilder ever. Ronnie is the most dominant bodybuilder now, then and forever. No one even comes close to his level of dominance in bodybuilding. In 1998, after winning a few other competitions, Ronnie Coleman went for the big one, the Mr. Olympia contest. That was the year he won his first Mr. Olympia title, launching him into bodybuilding history.
So I remember being on stage, 1998, and I was in the first call out. I think Ronnie was in the third call out, standing behind him like, God dang.
Okay, they calling out the sixth place guy. I'm not showing it on my face, but because I knew they was calling my name next. I'd never beat none of these guys. Every time they called out a name, I thought it was going to be me. But there's no way I'm beating these other guys because I never beat them before. I knew I was fourth for a fact. And when they called Kevin for fourth, I'm like, whoa. I'm gonna get third now. So it's me, Nasser, and Flex up here. So I'm thinking, okay, I got third for sure. I'm not in a million years placing higher than third. Said Nasser, I freaked out a little bit in my mind because I knew I was second. I didn't think I had a snowball chance in hell of beating Flex. I remember going down. I fainted once before, and when I fainted in 2001. My whole brain left me. This was the longest pause in my life. And I said, I actually won. I don't believe this. And I so much adrenaline flowing, I couldn't even stand up.
This was his first ever Mr. Olympia win.
The new Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman.
This is where I got my genetics from, right here.
Back in '99, Ronnie only did one show before the Mr. Olympia, really putting all his energy into getting ready for it. He won the 1999 IFBB Grand Prix England, then headed straight to the Mr. Olympia.
Immediately when we take off our clothes backstage, we know what's going on. We already know, who's the challenge, who's not. So, and Ronnie finally get undressed and like, oh my God, you got him. So everybody's running out to me back, you got him, you got his ass. I'm like, I got him, right? Yeah. He perfect scores me. So I'm like, So that's the year that I took off my medallions on stage. Right. So
the final three call-outs were Ronnie, Flex, and Chris. Chris became third place that year, leaving Ronnie and Flex in the middle of the stage. Finally, in that year, Ronnie secured his second Mr. Olympia title. So that year, Flex turned away from the crowd while Ronnie dropped to the floor, tears of joy streaming down his face, and the cheers echoed through the Mandalay Bay arena. Flex raised his hand high and then quickly took off the medal from around his neck.
1999 Mr. Olympia, Ron Coleman.
After I won one, it was time to get ready for the next one, you know, because this is a 365 day job pretty much for the most part, because you can't really slip up, you know.
In 2000, Ronnie made a comeback after winning the 2000 IFBB Grand Prix England title. The Olympia lineup was stacked with Ronnie, Flex, Kevin, Sean, Nasser, and Lee. The top three were Ronnie, Flex, and Kevin. Kevin was unexpectedly amazing that year, and Flex ended up in third place. So it was down to Ronnie and Kevin as the top two contenders. And finally, Ronnie took the win for the third time.
Three-time Olympia champion, Ronnie Coleman.
In 2001, Ronnie kicked off the year by winning the Arnold Classic pretty smoothly. But then, at the Mr. Olympia competition, Jay Cutler suddenly showed up out of nowhere. This Olympia turned out to be Ronnie's toughest battle yet, because the young Jay not only challenged Ronnie, but also gave him a run for his money on stage.
I stood next to Ronnie Coleman at 2001, and it was a controversial second. I could have won that show, and I placed second.
Cutler really pushed Ronnie to his limits, and Ronnie ended up winning, but it was controversial. Many folks debated whether Jay might have even outshined him, so 2001 was definitely one of the most controversial years in the sport's history.
That was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. Matter of fact, I think it almost cost me my life. Yeah. On the morning of the show, I remember getting up and I tried to take a step toward the bathroom, but I couldn't get out of bed. My nutritionist, I said, hey, I'm going to the hospital. I felt like I kind of felt like I was dying. He said, grab a gallon of water and drink as much as you could. So I grabbed a gallon of water and I drank the whole thing. And I felt good enough to go on stage and get second to Jay Cutler at the morning show. That's right. And finally at night show, get some of that water out of my system and win the show.
Four-time Olympia winner, Ron Coleman.
So last year, it was Jay. But now we've got this massive 300-pound giant with a smile that lights up the room and a contagious personality. Everyone thought Ronnie's reign was done for when he lost to Gunter at the 2002 Show of Strength Pro Championships. By the end of the night, Gunter only managed to snag 5th place, leaving all the spectators pretty disappointed.
And they will take the 5th place awards and present them to Gunter Schilkop.
Finally, Ronnie snagged his 5th Olympia win by beating all his competitors.
To the 2002 Olympia champion, Ronnie Coleman.
After that year, Ronnie realized things weren't going to get any easier for him. So he stepped up his game from then on.
And I would go and really train extremely hard. You know, I go to the gym with an attitude, you know. They ain't gonna take this away from me, you know. I squat 800 pounds, deadlift 800 pounds, leg press 2,300 pounds, bench press 500 for reps, you know, all that kind of stuff.
This was the reason that Ronnie's physique radically changed in a way no one could have predicted.
Ronnie Coleman again, 2003, which I thought I was going to win it. He came back like a monster that year. It was just crazy. It was the best Ronnie we ever seen. He was like 280 pounds and ripped, and it was like no one was going to beat him that year.
Listen, we got to change everything. We got to revamp this, and we got to shock the fuck out of the world. Like, we got to, you know, we're going to have to redo this. And like,
I went to the gym every day with this attitude. If they want to go to war, I'll take them to war.
I was trying to distance myself from everybody else, so I kept getting bigger and bigger, so nobody would catch up with me.
He completely changed the game with his physique, which many people argue is the greatest of all time. He cruised through the competition and took home the victory pretty easily.
First place, Ronnie Coleman.
I wanted to be the world champ. And I'd be willing to do just about anything to be the world champ.
In 2004, Ronnie won the title for the 7th time and matched Arnold Schwarzenegger's record.
Jay Cutler said you were 100% beatable.
I say Jay Cutler smoking crack. He ain't in his right mind. Nothing can really bring me down, you know. I've been a positive person my whole entire life, you know.
There's no one that will ever be to that level of Ronnie Coleman. But Ronnie Coleman was next level to compete against.
I will kick both their asses, and I will do it on Saturday. So I could do it once, I will do it again. That's what I have to say. Here we go.
Talking about what they're gonna do. Hey, this is a show. Talk is cheap. You want to do something? Hey, we can do something right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, who is it going to be?
Ronnie Coleman!
Ronnie Coleman!
Mr.
Olympia!
For the 7th straight year.
So what's the edge? Why did you win so many times?
Because I stayed committed. And I trained even harder, you know, after I won.
This was the year Ronnie Coleman made his name in the history books, locking in his spot with the most Olympia titles, right alongside Haney.
So Ronnie is the champion, but I want to be a champion.
Well, realistically, you can't be happy right now. Obviously, you're considered the greatest bodybuilder on the planet, and this youngster just came along and beat you at your own game.
I don't think so. I don't see it that way. So.
In 2005, Mr. Olympia, Ronnie